Let me ask you something. What do you expect when someone tells you they just bought a car for $5,000? Be honest. You probably imagine a beat-up old clunker that rattles every time it turns, smells weird inside, and needs a new part every other week. That's exactly what I expected too. I wasn't looking for anything fancy, just something to get me from point A to point B. But when I came across this 2008 Honda Civic LX, I wasn't ready for what happened next. I've owned this car for a few months now, and honestly, it's one of the smartest decisions I've ever made. I'm not saying it's perfect, it's not flashy, it doesn't turn heads. But this little Civic has shocked me in ways I didn't see coming. So today, I'm counting down the 10 biggest ways this $5,000 used car completely surprised me. Let's go. 10. The condition was unbelievably clean. When I heard the price, just $5,000, I was fully expecting a car that had been through some rough years. I pictured peeling paint, maybe a dented bumper, foggy headlights, and an interior full of mystery stains and leftover French fries. But when I showed up to see the 2008 Honda Civic LX, I was honestly shocked. The silver paint still had some shine left, and apart from a few small scratches, the body looked great. No rust, no major dings, nothing that screamed old and neglected. But the real surprise was the interior. The cloth seats were in amazing shape. No rips, no deep stains, no cigarette burns. The carpet was clean, the dashboard wasn't cracked, and everything felt solid. Even the little things worked perfectly. The air conditioning was cold, the radio sounded decent, and the power windows went up and down like new. It didn't feel like a cheap used car. It felt like someone had taken real pride in maintaining it. And as it turns out, that's exactly what happened. The previous owner kept every service record and had treated this Civic like a part of the family. 9. The fuel economy was way better than I thought. We all know Civics are known for good mileage, but I didn't realize how much I'd end up saving. I've been averaging around 34 miles per gallon, and that's with a mix of city and highway driving. That's crazy for a car this old. I was mentally prepared to spend more on gas, but this car sips fuel like it costs $100 a gallon. It's made commuting way more affordable, and I find myself smiling every time I skip the gas station for another day. With gas prices going up and down like a roller coaster, this car has seriously helped my budget. 8. It drives like something way newer. I've driven newer cars, I've rented 2020 models with fancy features and touchscreen everything, but this Civic? It still holds its own. The steering is responsive, the brakes feel firm. The suspension is comfortable without being too floaty. It doesn't feel like I'm driving something that's almost 2 decades old. It feels tight, like it still wants to be driven. I expected it to feel clunky or worn out, but it hasn't. Even the engine sounds healthy. No weird noises, no hesitation, just smooth, reliable driving. 7. Parts are cheap and easy to find. This one surprised me after I bought the car. I had to replace a worn-out battery a couple of weeks after buying it. I thought I'd be dealing with a $200 repair bill. Instead, I walked into an auto parts store, bought one for around $120, and swapped it myself in 10 minutes. It's not just the battery either. Brake pads, filters, spark plugs, all dirt cheap and everywhere. The Civic is one of the most popular cars ever made, so parts are available almost anywhere. Even if something major breaks, it won't cost me an arm and a leg. 6. Insurance is insanely low. This was another pleasant surprise. I was bracing myself for at least $100 a month in insurance, but because it's an older car with great safety ratings, my monthly premium ended up being just $52. That's full coverage too. It might not sound like much, but those savings add up fast. For someone on a budget or a first-time car buyer, the Civic makes total sense. I could have spent double that insuring a newer car with higher risk ratings, but this one keeps things affordable. 5. It's actually fun to drive. I know it's a Civic. No turbo, no sports mode, no launch control. But hear me out, it's still a fun little car. The manual version would probably be even more engaging, but even this automatic has a kind of simple charm. It's light, nimble, and quick enough to keep up with traffic without ever feeling sluggish. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not, and there's something satisfying about that. You just drive, no distractions, no complicated tech, just you and the road. For a car that costs less than a new iPhone, that's pretty special. 4. The build quality holds up over time. You don't really notice build quality until you drive something where it's missing. I've been in cars with creaky panels, rattling dashboards, and switches that feel like they're about to break. But the Civic still feels solid. The doors close with a nice thunk. The knobs and buttons feel durable. Nothing has broken or fallen off. No weird electrical problems. It's almost like Honda built this thing with the long haul in mind, and it's paid off. After 17 years, it still works like a proper car. Not something on life support. 3. There's more space than you'd think. Looking at it from the outside, it doesn't seem that roomy, but once you get inside, it opens up. The front seats have more than enough legroom, and even in the back, I can sit behind the driver's seat without my knees touching. The trunk? Way bigger than I expected. I've packed groceries, luggage, even a bike with the seats folded down. It's one of those cars that just fits more than you think it will. If you're a student, a small family, or just someone who needs space without buying an SUV, this thing works. 2. People still respect it. This one caught me off guard. I expected some eye rolls or jokes when I showed friends my new used Civic. But you know what? People actually like it. Some even said, "You got a Civic? Nice." There's something about this car that earns respect. Maybe it's because everyone knows someone who's owned one. Maybe it's because they've seen them run forever. Or maybe it's just because they've heard the stories. But whatever it is, I've never once felt embarrassed driving it. In fact, people often ask how it's running and seem genuinely impressed when I tell them how well it's doing. 1. It changed the way I think about cars. This is the biggest one. Before I bought this Civic, I used to think you had to spend a lot to get something decent. I thought cheap cars were risky and unreliable. But this car proved me wrong. It's shown me that value isn't always about price. It's about how something performs in the real world. This Civic didn't just save me money. It made driving easy. It made maintenance simple. It made owning a car stress-free. And that's something I didn't know I needed until I had it. I used to care about looks, features, and brand names. Now I care about whether the car just works. And this one does. So yeah, that's the story of how a $5,000 used 2008 Honda Civic LX surprised me in every possible way. It didn't just meet my expectations, it completely crushed them. It may not have leather seats, navigation, or anything high-tech, but it's reliable, cheap to run, and honestly more enjoyable than I ever imagined. If you're thinking about getting a used car and don't want to break the bank, give this one a look. It might not seem exciting at first, but don't let the price fool you. This little car has a lot more to offer than people realize. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Share it with someone who's car shopping right now. And don't forget to subscribe for more honest, real-world car content. I've got more stories like this coming soon, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. See you in the next one.